Mr. Speaker, Senator Kaniri continues to distinguish himself as a senator who clearly and consistently brings issues that are affecting not just the people of Vihiga, but the people of Kenya. So I'd like to thank Senator Kaniri, my distinguished elder brother, for doing this. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what words can be used really to express the situation that many Kenyans are going through. Things are tough. Mr. Speaker, we need to move beyond just commiserating with them. Because I like the example that Senator Aaron has used of people in my county. Mr. Speaker, many people in Ivory Towers think that these people are walking all these distances for fitness, yeah? Or they're walking because they want to exercise. You're going to Babadogo, and not all of them stay around there. You're going to the industries there, or to Lunga Lunga, or to Road C. You live in Kibra, or you live in Kawangware. Mr. Speaker, you're going to earn 300 shillings. The matatu is 100 shillings to town, and then another one. If you choose to go by public transport, which is a whole other issue we need to address, because there's nothing public about our transport. The only thing public is the road and the people. It's really private. But if you choose to use public transport, Mr. Speaker, you will not get food for your children. It's a choice between food or transport. Mr. Speaker, when 48% of this charge is foreign exchange adjustments and fuel surcharges, the tax component brings it up to around 60%, then there's need for a solution. It means we're not listening to where the people are. Mr. Speaker, it's not just the commuters. All aspects of our economy are affected. Mr. Speaker, in the North Rift, plowing costs have gone up 30% because the owners of tractors are charging now 3,000 because of the increase in fuel, meaning the increase in food the farmer will then pass that on to the ordinary person. For us to truly address cost of living, we must be innovative in that pricing formula. Mr. Speaker, the pricing formula, which has a component, and yes, the government must earn its taxes, but it costs us nothing to say that when it goes beyond, because now fuel is 127, Mr. Speaker, kerosene is now at around, I think 97 shillings, 98 shillings, Mr. Speaker, which is what many people are using in their households. There was a plan to bring Mwananchi gas and something by government, it got into tender wars. But Mr. Speaker, we can say that, yes, use the pricing model, but if it goes above 100 shillings, that extra then is cushioned by the temporary adjustment of that tax or by that fund that was created for that specific purpose. Mr. Speaker, that is a one-line amendment. The same way we did here, Y is A plus B on the formula, we can do that and save Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. All of these people who are hustling or looking for a living, they are just trying to eke out a living. The normal Mwananchi today feels that everything around them is set up for their failure. That's why they won't understand all these other big issues, big projects we're trying to do. They won't understand the expressway that we're trying to do in Nairobi, which will actually help in future, but it doesn't make sense because there's nothing that is left in their pocket at the end of the day. Do you know, Mr. Speaker, many times we'd say, oh, when it goes up by 2 shillings, we may not feel it. But Mr. Speaker, even me, I've noticed that when I fuel my vehicle, there is an actual pinch now that you can notice the difference. Before, we would not necessarily notice. So what about that common Mwananchi, Mr. Speaker? So I'd like to ask you, Mr. Speaker, to exercise your discretion. When you sit on that chair, you have a lot of power. Mr. Speaker, you can say that we invite or summon EPRA, the National Treasury, who will come with KRA, and the Ministry of Petroleum, to come next week and tell us what mitigating interventions we can do, because this law, they ask, was man made for the law or was law made for man? So that we can actually put a stop to it. And they come next week on a committee of the whole House, we sit and go through it step by step. That formula cannot be what is preventing Kenyans from, Mr. Speaker, they will not understand BBI. They will not understand any motion we're discussing if there is nothing in their pockets. And that frustration, Mr. Speaker, that frustration that people are feeling, I can speak about my residents in Nairobi, the people in eateries. There is COVID, and then now there is fuel. They're being hit right, left, and center. When you go up, you're being put down. I know time is out, Mr. Speaker, but please issue that directive before you adjourn the House, that they come next week and we will all be here to help the Energy Committee sort this thing out. Because if we can't deal with this, Mr. Speaker, I don't know what else we're dealing with. Everything else is poetry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.